Hi, my name is Dragomir. I'm working for BIR. I'm the CNC instructor and also robotic instructor for pick and place and also for the vision. Today, after we talk about the hardware that we need for vision system, we use over here a 2D vision system with a Sony XC56 camera. We download the software to the PC from the robotics, and also we make a connection between the PC and robotics. Everything is done. So right now I'm going to talk a little bit about the tool that we're using today, tool frame number 5, and we're using a 6-point. I already approached the point number 1. I'm going to race up with a fast speed. So this is the position number 2, position number 3, all this position has to be registered. This is the first 3 position for the tool. The next 3 will be origin position, X direction, the same position that was approach point number 1 will be orient position. Then we have X direction and Y direction. The tool is ready. Save, record all the position. And after the tool frame number 5, we're going to set up 2 user frames. The first user frame will be for calibration grid frame, and the second user frame will be for application frame. In our case, tool number 4, user frame number 4, will be for calibration grid frame, and for application frame will be user frame number 2. Right now I'm going to set up the user frame number 4 for calibration of the camera, and I'm going to use the first point, origin point, the first point at the corner of the grid. Anytime that we need to set it up, we're going to hold in the shift and F5 to record the position. The next position will be X direction point. X positive. After fine adjustment, we're going to register the X direction point by holding shift and record. And we have to register also the Y direction. I'm moving back to the origin point and moving Y positive. And record the Y direction point, shift and F5 to record. And one more thing, we have to use 4 points in the user frame for a grid calibration, a system origin, and the system origin will be the first big dot on the X direction. So I'm going to use moving over there. And use the shift and record. And the first user frame is done. And I'm going to use this one for iVision setup of the grid. The next one that we need to do it's the user frame number 2 for application frame. And we're moving to the corner of the user frame, orient origin point. The same thing, we're going to move, register this one, record, shift and F5, and move it X positive, and register X direction point. Shift and record, and after that we're moving Y positive, Y positive, and use the same thing, shift F5 to record the position, and we're going to use a system origin on the piece part that we want to be. So I'm going to move right now where the origin point will be for my part number 1, and this one will be the 4 point on the user frame number 2 for application.
Action.
The next step that we have to do is go in the PC and for the vision setup, we're going to choose a camera setup tool, new file, give a name, CST1, and click OK and save it. Double click and the setup, and we have to make the setup according with the type of camera that we have. Set up the time exposed. Default is 33.333 millisecond, and anytime we're going to save it. After finish up the camera setup, we close and go for camera calibration tool. Start a new file with a different name, will be CST2. Double click, and over here is application frame that I just finished up, will be number 2. Calibration grid frame, I use user frame number 4. Set up the frame, and find if it's necessary to make adjustment for the window in which we're looking for the 4 big dots. Very, very important is the grid spacing. Right now we're using 30 millimeters. And click OK. And the camera is going to do a calibration. We're going to check the points. Right now, we got 81 points, and all the errors is below 1%. Everything that will be bigger than 1 has to be deleted. After finish up the grid pattern calibration, we click the Save, and we're moving, close this one, and we're moving for Vision Process Tool, open up a new file. This time will be CST4. Okay. Double click. And over here we get to set up the GPM, the first part that I'm going to load in. Teach pattern, find, we're going to put a live image with a camera, set it up in. First we need to set up the camera, and teach pattern, we go over the part. Accepted. Over here we need to do set the origin, whatever point we decided to pick it up the part. Anytime that we make a change, we need to do save it, edit emphasis area, and this part we're going to choose the head and the arrow, the first line, and click OK. That is very important. We're going to make a trim area. So in this case, we're not looking for the back side of the part, we're looking only for the first side, and save it. And this one will be part number 1. And we have to do one more thing, and this one to set it up, reference position, snap and find. We go to do a setup, reference position, and this one, it's save it, and it's done. And right now I'm going to put multiple parts in. for the camera to find them out, and I'm going to do a snap and find, set it up for the number bigger than I have in the camera view. Right now I'm going to set up for a 10, snap and find, and for the first part, it's already done. The robotics already find the 7 parts and also orientation for the original one. And over here we got a score close to 100%, 7 pieces with a different orientation. And this one will be the first part. To the same file, we're going to add the second part. And the second part has to be staged for the position. So over here on the computer, we're going to put a new file. This one will be GPM logger tool number 2. Click OK. Now we're looking to see the point, find we're going to find the new part, put a box around the new part in, click OK. We're going to set the new origin for the new part in the tab, click OK. Edit emphasis area. On this part we're looking for a second curve, click OK. If anything need to be trimmed, edit and mask, we can do for a window to mask the part that we don't want it. Click OK. Anytime we have to save it, go back to the file, we can snap and find. It's going to find the second part. Snap and find 1 pieces, and right now I'm going to take the setup out, and I'm going to put a new file with a different shape, 2 of them in the different angle, and I'm looking for 12 pieces. Number to find 12, 2 different pieces, and snap and find. And over here in the ID number, this one has to be number 2, and for pattern we snap and find, and there you go. Robotics is going to find the pieces, identify them with orientation and the same level, because it's just a 2D vision. Thank you very much.